Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This video is long overdue since the summer of 2021 to be precise. I am finally getting back to many of my shelved projects. After the travel ban was lifted in the summer of 2021, the first place we wanted to visit was one of our close friends in Boston, and we decided to drive to Boston. We wanted to take our time hitting some stops while we went, and the Eastern State Penitentiary at Philadelphia was our first stop. The Eastern State Penitentiary stands in ruin with its crumbling cell blocks and empty guard towers, but was one of the most famous and expensive prison in the world. Jails in Philadelphia in the 1700s before this would host criminals awaiting punishment and were left to scheme or fight among themselves in crowded, unheated rooms. And soon after the American Revolution in the 18th century, a group of Americans formed the first prison reform society in the world and met in the home of Benjamin Franklin. They believed that convicts needed time alone, in silence, to rediscover their good nature, and that solitary confinement was an opportunity for reflection, a chance to become penitent. On the outside, however, the building's design and its resemblance to a medieval or Gothic castle was mostly for show, and the architect of the building actually said that the building should strike fear into the hearts of those who thought of committing a crime. The English author Charles Dickens wrote that the two sites in the US that he mostly wanted to see were the Falls at Niagara and the Eastern State Penitentiary. This gallery right here provides a great view of the cell block 7 with the 30-foot barrel vaulted ceilings. One of the sections of the audio tour that was super interesting to me was about Eastern State's most unusual prisoner, Pep, the cat murdering dog, narrated by Dick Fulmer, who was a social worker at the institution. Pep was a black Labrador retriever who was admitted to the penitentiary on August 12, 1924, and apparently, according to prison folklore, Pennsylvania Governor Gifford Pinchot sentenced Pep to life without parole for killing his wife's cherished cat. Pep definitely looks a little guilty in these pictures with his head down and ears back. Aniruddha and I came to the US as international PhD students in 2017. We had known each other for about 5 years before that, back in India, through the course of our post-high school years. And throughout these 5 years, we were in 2 different states in India, almost 1,000 miles away from each other. And we thought, how hard could it be, staying away from each other even in the US? I started my PhD in a university in Texas, and he started his PhD here in the University of Maryland. We were very wrong, coping up in the initial years of staying in a different country, oceans away from your family, and with the responsibilities of being an international graduate student in the US was nothing close to what we had imagined. In the fall of 2018, we came to our senses, and I took a transfer to a much more suited research lab here in the same university as his. When I came to Maryland, my mental health was in bad shape. It was straining my relationship and my identity as a person of worth. And one of the things that helped me recover and connect back with life in general and my partner was the exposure to a lot of good cinema and TV shows. My taste has evolved massively over the last 3-4 years, and I'm quite happy about it. The choice to visit a desolate place like the penitentiary might seem very bizarre to many, but it was probably one of the most relatable places I have been to in the US after watching some of these movies with Aniruddha. I will list some of the movies and TV shows in the description below. The Sopranos was the first TV show that Aniruddha and I watched together. Steve Buscemi, who played Tony Blundetto in a supporting role of The Sopranos, as well as directed 4 episodes of the series, narrates the audio guide tour of the penitentiary. The 1995 film 12 Monkeys, that portrays an interesting take on a global pandemic and traveling back in time, has several scenes shot inside the penitentiary. In 1929, Famous gangster Alfonso Scarface Capone spent 8 months of his life in this cell. His cell was furnished with large oriental rugs on the floor, oil paintings on the walls, and a cabinet radio.